Hello and welcome to my awesome health journey. I am Brett Dupree, and today I feel like being controversial. Yes, one of my health journey hot takes. I think we care about weight too much, especially in American society. I was just having a conversation with someone not too long ago, and of course, one thing that happens to people who've seen me at Orange Theory for a long time is they ask me how much weight have I lost, which is 140 pounds, which 100% I am happy with. I'm not going to say weight is not a number that we should care about. I just think it's a number that we put too much emphasis on. And this person that I talked to was an older person, and they're talking about they still have like certain amount of weight to lose. And looking at them is just, I mean, I don't want to be judgmental, but I didn't agree. But again, it's not for me to say for what someone else to do. But I think this goes along because I've had this conversation a lot with my mom and other people because, like, in our society, we put a huge emphasis on being skinny, especially apparently with GLP-1s. That's making a huge comeback. And I mean, number one, let's big elephant in the room. The people who kind of set our beauty standards on the Western world are people who have been on Epstein Island and have a preference for women who look a certain way, if you know what I mean. And that aside, weight is just one of the numbers that we should care about overall. Fat percentage is probably more important than weight. Yeah, fat percentage, I think, is more important than weight. VAT, the visceral adipose tissue, the fat around my organs, that's something I'm happy about. I had like 20 pounds of fat, and now it's down to like 10 or 11 point something. Apparently, I'm supposed to get that down to 0. And that's a number I care about way more than the rest of the fat. Because, like, I'm not saying that I don't want to lose more weight. Obviously, I do. I'm in a 334, maybe I'm in the 320s. I don't know. I'm not going to weigh myself until August. But at the same time, uh, it's not the most important part of my journey. In fact, I had to decouple that from my journey to continue on it because if I didn't, I would just get discouraged way too easily. Or at this point, get kind of encouraged because I feel so much better at 334 than I did at 474. That 140 pounds. Whew. That just feels like, yeah, you can't imagine how much better every part of my body feels. But at the same time, when I look at all my other numbers, I look at the fact that my blood pressure is normal. I look at the fact that my blood sugars are normal. All my numbers for my liver and my kidneys and my organs are good. And I feel that's more important than worrying about the fat that's on my body. Yes, being obese and having fat does have a higher contribution to certain health ailments, especially in the future. But saying that, putting a huge emphasis on that because fast weight loss is very stressful on the body. And the thing is like, it's hard on the body. And I think that can almost be a little bit, what's the word? Detrimental because a lot of times when we worry just about the number on the weight, we don't worry about the actions and the thought processes and the habits that happen to make us that way because the body wants to be alive. It doesn't want to be thin. And for some reason, you have decided, by you, I mean your body, decided it needs to be fat. And to lose weight, I think, is just having a holistic approach of like imagining the whole body, mind, body, and soul, so that we do those healthy habits and just work on those healthy habits and not put so much emphasis on like how we look in the mirror. And especially for people like the one that just surprises me are the people who want to lose weight but don't really care about like what other people think of them, so they're doing it just for themselves because there's so many more important things to worry about, especially when you're in your 40s, like the ability to stand on one leg for a certain amount of time or being able to get up and down off the floor without your hands. If you can do those two things, you're doing gravy. Just you're sitting in butter, as Wings used to say. One of my favorite episodes, probably the only episode of Wings other than Lift that I remember because of that saying. But those things are the most important things because when you're at the age, I'm in my upper 40s, maybe 50 in like 2 years and a few months, just like falling is what kills a lot of people. And working on the stabilizer muscles, working on your core strength so you can get up off the toilet and so you don't have to go to one of those assisted living facilities, continuing on your muscle mass, continually working on the so you don't like degrade, because apparently you don't really degrade until you're in the 70s and where your body really starts degrading. Sure, your ability to put on muscle and stuff does go down, but at the same time, the more we work on ourselves and be able to do that, in fact, I would say having muscle mass, a certain amount of muscle mass, is more important than worrying about like how much you weigh. In fact, you probably want to weigh a little bit more. From what I understand, everything I've seen is actually being underweight is more detrimental to your health than being slightly overweight. And from what I understand, also being kind of like slightly obese, especially when you're in 40 and 50s, is almost healthier than being like all cause mortality. I've seen studies that show, and those people do a little better because number one, they're able to handle food shortages a little bit better because they have fat on their body. Plus, they have a little cushion when they fall and helps protect their hips a little bit. Because like we're just looking at fat like it's the above all, end all, everything. I think that's also part of our Western society is how we try to like move everything down to like one issue, one problem, one thing, but it's just many things. And weight is just one of them. And so I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is just work on your entire body, especially work on your legs and butt. If you're anything like me, your butt's weak. And my butt was freaking weak. In the last couple months, I've worked on my butt, and my butt's been sore for a couple weeks. And that's just made everything in my life so much better. My hips feel amazing in comparison they did 2 months ago before I started PT, and then or 3 months ago before I started PT and just doing work butt exercises and hip exercises and hip stretches and putting emphasis on that when I go to yoga and when I go to Orange Theory. I feel so much better because of that. And I think overall that is just as important as the weight loss that I'm getting off my body. Uh, and working on my VAT and getting my best that down as well. The reality is, once I'm down like 100 pounds from where I am, down to like 230, I don't even know if I'm going to worry about weight loss after that. That's not even going to be on my mind. That's my weight. That's my weight goals, 230 pounds. And once I hit that, I'll see where I'm at. But I don't see myself even putting an emphasis on weight loss at that point, especially if I'm able to keep 100 pounds of muscle on my body, which is what I about have right now. So yeah, I guess that's me being a little controversial. Of course, I'll delete mean comments because I always do. I have no desire to go viral because of getting arguments with mean people. I just don't have the patience for that. Well, anyways, thank you for listening to my little rant. I love you for who you are, and as always, you are worthy.